Hi everyone, this is Carmen
and Cristina. Welcome to Chronically Online con Cafecito. And yes, we do have Cafecito today. I do, at least. I don't know about Carmen.
Oh, I don't. I already drank mine.
Oh, okay. So yeah, should I start with my topic first or yours? What do you want to do here?
Here, let me send you mine.
Okay. What are you bringing today?
Okay. Well, I have like two clips from Bethany Beal. I don't know how much people who are not online know about her or the supposed ministry she does with her sister called Girl Defined. When did you first hear about Girl Defined?
Probably because of Fundy Fridays. From you first, and then Fundy Fridays. Once I started watching Fundy Fridays, I understood more because I didn't know who Girl Defined.
Defined. Girl Defined. Like as defined by the Bible, you know.
Okay, yes. Once I started watching Fundy Fridays more than I understood.
Okay, yeah.
Because when you first told me about it and I looked at Fundy Snark, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
You're like, what is going on? Yeah. So Girl Defined has been around for a long time. I don't remember. First of all, I don't even remember how I came across the Fundy Snark subreddit, but it's a snark page for fundamental Christian like social media influencers, basically like the Duggars. It's probably the one people know about, or the who people would recognize as like fundamental Christians. So I think most people, especially after what's his name, Josh, sorry. They all have names like that. So
the Duggars.
Yeah. So I think after he was convicted, you know, all of that, more people became aware of who they are. And I think maybe a little bit more people are familiar with fundamental Christian movement from that. And then Shiny Happy People came out. And so hopefully people know what I'm talking about. And
yeah. And then like her book.
Yes. Jill, I think. Jill Duggar.
Yes. Yeah.
So hopefully that's enough context for people to know who I'm talking about and why I'm talking about them, and, you know, why people have issues with them. And if not, a good starting point would be Fundy Fridays and her videos on them. Because, yeah, I won't get too much into who they are, because it would be like hours. Like there's literally hours like of videos out there.
I mean, I think like Fundy Friday alone has like, I don't know how many videos on them, and they're like hour and a half long videos. Like,
yeah. But the way I first came across them was because I think I used to watch, not Cody Coat like himself, but he had like a video. It's like I don't know if you know who he is, like a YouTuber.
No.
And he had like videos with this other YouTuber named Noel something, and they were like funny, like comedy videos or whatever. And then they were reacting to some of the Girl Defines content, and then that's how I first learned about them, and then how I came across like Fundy Snark and all that stuff.
Okay.
They've made the rounds, like famous people have made fun of them, like drag queens have reacted to their videos. So Girl Defined, they were younger when they made Girl Defined, and the whole purpose of that is to teach like young girls how to be good Christian girls, basically.
Good Christian wives. Oh, well, I guess they were younger. I said good Christian wives, but that's the goal. But when they were younger, I guess they weren't. Were they talking about marriage? I don't know.
They were talking about how to be pure for your marriage, you know, purity culture, all of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Modesty, stuff like that, basically. And yeah, so that's when they were younger, and then they, you know, got older, whatever. And they still do like Girl Defined stuff, and now they have a podcast.
Right.
I think the people might recognize them because probably years ago, one of their videos about how to wear God-honoring makeup got made fun of a lot. So people might know them from that.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being that I don't know which one we should talk about first. Well, first, let me give a little bit more background. So,
okay.
So Bethany and the sister, I don't even remember her fucking name because she's less online. She's a little bit older, a little more reserved online and stuff. So she's not as like outrageous on social media and stuff. So these girls were like, their whole siblings were homeschooled. So they don't have like education. They don't have good like social skills. They don't have, I don't know, like they've never had to have like motivation or drive to do anything, right? Because
their only goal is to be a good Christian wife.
Yeah. With that being said, Bethany throughout the years has had like a lot of projects she starts and lets go. She had this thing, Bethany's Closet, where she was like selling her clothes. And then she had this other thing. She worked smart, teaching courses
okay,
on how to be like good at social media. And now her newest thing is how to be, what does she call it? There's a name for it. Hold on, let me find it.
Okay.
Oh, it's the intimate wife. because
Okay. How are we getting, I'm sorry, none of this makes any sense. How are we getting teaching lessons from, well, okay, I will say they are good at social media, clearly, because they've grown a following. But how is she teaching intimacy as a...
She does buy followers too. I'll just throw that out there. She does.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, social media 101, buy followers.
Yeah. So, well, that's the question, right? So how do you go from peddling purity, culture, and modesty to the intimate wife, right? And her whole thing from the intimate wife is like, oh, as Christian women, we don't talk about sexuality and blah, blah. And it's like, you're the problem.
Yeah, you're the reason why, actually.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
So the whole point of the intimate wife is for her to teach wives how to, I don't know, be in touch with their sexuality, and Christian wives, of course, and blah, blah, blah. And it's all too much.
Well, the whole thing is that intimacy doesn't matter. It's that your whole purpose is just for your spouse, your husband.
Well, and that's the how do you reconcile that, right? That's the cognitive dissonance of it all, that she does not have the capacity to see.
And the I don't know, like paradox of it, I guess, because those two things don't go together. In order for you to reclaim your sexuality and your intimacy or whatever, you cannot be in this traditional, everything that they're spewing, right?
Exactly. So that's why it doesn't make sense, but she doesn't understand that. And so she has the cringiest content surrounding this. She also has like courses about this and whatever. And I did just watch a good detailed video about one of her courses from Mickey Atkins on YouTube. So if people like want more information about that and like a little bit more in-depth discussion about it, that's a really good video on it, because we won't be like getting too much into it. But that's the context of the video. So, well, yeah, why don't you click on the first one? Well, actually, let me see which one I sent you first.
The first one? You sent me the one that says the audio for this clip is cursed. Why did you pick it?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So click on that one.
All right, I'm playing it now. Oh, God. She's using like the squeaky bed
Audio
sound from like that one song.
Yeah. So then people are like, people that are fundamental Christians, they have this quote they love to say. I don't know if you know it or have heard of it.
Oh, wait, we should say what the video says for people that are not watching our video. So she's dancing in it, and she has a caption that says, most women need at least 20 minutes of foreplay before starting intercourse. Stop apologizing for being a woman and needing time.
And she can't dance, obviously, because dancing's not allowed.
So these moves are very stiff.
Yeah.
Very robotic.
And this is not the worst. What I wanted to do, but I didn't have time to compile. So I'm going to have to talk about her again, because what I wanted to do was compile all the videos I've seen of her dancing so we could make fun of her.
Oh, I love it. All right. We're going to have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll save that for another day. But this is just what is contradictory. So contradictory and hypocritical of her to use this audio, because, yeah, the fundies have this saying of the world, but not in it. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
I know way too much about these people.
You do? What does it mean?
It means that they live in the world, and have you heard of them call things worldly? Like, this is worldly?
No.
Basically, they have different standards, right? Because they live biblical lives and the rest of us heathens don't. So like popular, music, it's worldly, it's not Christian.
Oh, I have heard that. I just didn't know that's what it meant.
Anything that's not Christian focused is worldly, and they don't, listen to it. They don't read it.
Worldly, bad.
And yet you're using this audio.
This audio is worldly. This idea is worldly, actually.
It is, yeah, because according to their teachings and their beliefs, women don't need foreplay. They need to submit to their husbands whenever. And that's a little crass to say, but at the end of the day, that's what they believe.
That's literally what they've said it. They have said it.
Yeah. And there's like lore about Bethany and her husband, and that they hate each other because of their interactions. Like when you watch, it's just, this is not the last day that we talk about.
Okay.
Bethany, because they live in my mind rent free. And I love to make fun of people. And that's the thing, like other people, they'll cover, fundies, Bethany, and the other fundy characters. and they have all the empathy in the world, which is fine. But I'm not going to do that because fuck these people.
Some people don't deserve it, you know?
Yeah, like I don't care.
Some people that are out here spreading hate.
Exactly.
They don't deserve it. They don't.
Yeah. So I will make fun of her and her stiff cardboard dance moves.
Yeah. It reminds me of this one tweet that's like, actually making fun of people who are celebrating a death, doesn't matter who it is not a good thing. And then people quoted that with like their favorite deaths. Like, actually, it's great. And yeah, it's the same thing. Some people don't deserve our empathy, and they are one of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So all the hate to this woman and the bullshit she peddles. So let's watch the next clip.
Okay.
Remember as a teen, you know, like coming home from like youth, or the youth went out to eat or to, you know, whatever, to coffee. And like my mom would be like, so tell me, like, who'd you talk to? How'd this go? Da, da, da. And I remember as a young teen, her asking me, like, when I would talk to a boy or something, and I mean, absolutely innocent, just talking, right? Like having a conversation at coffee with all the other youth group around. And, you know, that I like kind of liked him and whatever, he's cute, da da da. He asked me this question, and yeah, and when we left, he gave me a side hug, and, you know, and my mom would ask me questions like, and it might sound cringe, okay, but my mom would ask me questions like, so how did you feel in your body when that happened? And like what she was getting at is, did you get turned on? Right? And so like, I could freely say, I felt butterflies in my stomach. And then I got to the place where I could say, yeah, and actually I felt like I got kind of wet when that happened. And then she could be like, that's normal. That's really good. Like God made you that way. And then because that was affirmed and that was natural, now we could have boundary conversations. Like that's going to make you want to do more things, you know, when you, even though a side hug is completely fine, like be careful that doesn't progress into more when you're friends at 14 or 15 years old, you know, like it was a healthy discipleship. Most women don't have that.
That's weird, right?
Okay, I'm a little disturbed.
I think it's normal to talk about I don't know, like normalize like feelings and whatever.
Yeah,
but to actually say to be that's weird. Like to tell your mom, I got a little wet. Like, I would die. I didn't want to say it right now.
Wow. And I think it's unnecessary because I think that like just saying I felt something that I haven't before implies, and so you don't need to go into like further detail.
Yeah.
That it's odd.
And I don't think this is true, really. Seriously, these people are having these conversations when they don't even allow like hand holding at certain ages. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I don't have daughters, right? But I don't want to know this from any of my children. Like I think it's fine if they were to tell me just what I just said. Like,
yeah,
I felt something different. I'm like, okay, well, that's normal.
Don't go past that. Don't give me more detail than that.
But yeah, I don't need to know more than that. It's like when our nasty ass brother would start telling us shit and we're like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like nobody wants to know this.
And we would run away from his room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it set that boundary, and then he stopped eventually trying to have those conversations with us.
Yes. Yeah. Because like some things we don't need to know.
What is that? Have you seen that meme? It's like, we know too much about each other or whatever. That's the embodiment of this.
And I can't imagine as a parent pressing for more details when like
that's the thing. That's what I was going to say right now. It's like she's not even offering up this information. She's like, her mom is like, the way she says it, her mom was fishing this information out of her and then trying to make it seem like it was normal, and it wasn't.
That's weird. Like I think as a parent, just stopping at that first, oh, and you felt something different. Okay, yeah, that's normal, blah, blah, blah. But like continuing to ask for info to get the weird details.
But what did your body feel like? Like that's weird. Yeah.
What did your lower region feel like? Actually, I need to know. Like, no, you don't need to know that.
You don't need to know that.
It's strange. It's strange behavior. It's almost like she's so closeted and so restricted.
Oh, repressed.
Oh, thank you. That's the word I was thinking of. In her own sexuality, that then she needs these weird details from her child to like get off or something.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what people were comparing it to grooming, essentially. And it's boundary passing. I don't know what the word is. Violating. Not passing.
Yeah.
It's boundary violating, and I mean, normalizing things that are not normal or healthy. And then they're just talking about it like it's normal, but they don't know what healthy and normal discussions about sex are, because they're repressed. That's it. That's my point. The one thing is that they're repressed.
Yeah, talking about body parts and for what they actually are, and then at some point what the actual mechanics of like a pregnancy is, that there's different sexualities, like all that is normal, but like fishing out these gross details to get, I don't know, it's incestuous. It feels like oh my god, I can't say the word.
Incestuous.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Like, that's not normal.
And mind you, these are the people that are out here calling trans and gay people pedos when this is actual closer to that. Like,
yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. And there's another video. I think we'll talk about it probably later in more detail. But like, the reason this is like a big issue is this is not the first time that Bethany has brought on like guests to like talk about like sex, where weird information comes out that they're passing off as normal.
Okay.
So I don't know if I don't remember if I sent it to you or if we talked about it, but so she brought on these supposed sex experts that are like Christian counselors. And of course, it turns out they're not actually licensed clinical professionals or anything like that. And they're talking about their own sex lives and how they learned, I don't know, like to be sexual, blah, blah, whatever. And it's like an older couple. And then the lady starts talking about how she didn't know what a clitoris was. Have you heard of this video at all?
I vaguely know of it, but I don't know the details.
Okay. And so then this lady, basically, she's talking about that. She didn't know what that was before. And she had kids already at this point. And then a friend of hers was like, oh, I'll show you, something like that. And she showed her what a clitoris was by pointing it out in a baby's body, what the clitoris was. And they're talking about it like it's normal.
They literally could have pulled out an anatomy picture.
Exactly. I'm like, why are you using a human baby for this?
This is... Ugh.
It's gross. It's gross.
Oh my god.
And so it's like things like that keep coming out in her videos and from supposed experts that she talks to. And it's weird behavior. It's not normal. It's not normal to point at a baby and use that baby so that you can learn something about sex that you are going to use later to pleasure yourself and your husband. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird.
It's weird. You know what this kind of reminds me of? Because were we in the same English class sophomore year or no?
Freshman year was the first and only time we were in English together.
No, sorry, history.
Oh, history? Sophomore year, I don't remember.
Okay, there was this teacher, I don't remember her name. She was a woman. It was a world history. So there was one day in class where I don't even know why this came up in class, but everyone was laughing at one kid named Louis because he didn't know what a clitoris was, and including the teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't remember that?
Nope. I don't think we were in the same class. I feel like I would remember that.
No, I don't think I think you might have maybe had her at a different period then.
Oh, that's not normal, I don't think.
No, it's not. It's like
inappropriate.
It's strange. Like, yeah, students can laugh at each other, but then for the teacher to butt in and like, oh my god, he doesn't know what a clitoris is. It's like,
that's not appropriate.
You're an adult. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's weird.
It gives me those same vibes, but obviously worse because these are people that are supposedly calling out everyone else things and
holding themselves up to be like to have moral authority over others.
Yeah. Oh, very disturbing.
And there's a thing where, and I think there's like actual studies about this, but I don't know them off the top of my head or the actual numbers, but they and I'm not going to look them up right now, but maybe later I will. I don't know. But anyway, there's this thing like a phenomenon, well-studied phenomenon, that people from more repressed cultures actually have more like sexual abuse, molestations, child sexual abuse, and things like that.
That's what I was going to say. I haven't read the study, but I was going to say, I feel like these conservative religious backgrounds are like breeding grounds for sexual abuse and pedophilia.
Yeah.
And things like that. So, and I mean, it checks out every time you look at stories like that. It's like a pastor. straight white man abusing blah blah blah. So yeah, I mean,
A missionary in another foreign country. Yeah.
yeah, very disturbing. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. So the next time I bring them up, hopefully it'll be more lighthearted because I will compile videos of them, of Bethany dancing, so we can make fun of her. Yeah.
I look forward to that. All right. Well, are you ready for, was that it for what you were going to bring?
Yeah.
Okay. So I came across this Twitter thread that was like, let me bring up the thread about how this study came out, that the study is like it's titled like this: a wide ideology gap is opening between young men and women in countries across the world, like not just the US. And so they have like South Korea, US, Germany, UK on this post showing graphs. And it's just basically showing the divide of like how young men are leaning towards being super ultra conservative and women are becoming more and more progressive. Because like there's this idea going around that Gen Z's like they're gonna save the world, like they're so progressive and so liberal, but the study actually shows that the women are, but the young men are actually more conservative than like millennials and Gen X, the men in Gen Z, and even like boomers.
Wow.
Some of them like in certain ideas. So I'll read this just because it's like worded way better than even I would like write it, obviously. But so we're often told that Gen Z are hyper progressive, but surveys suggest they're surprisingly conservative. Breaking things down by sex provides an explanation. Young women are very progressive, young men are surprisingly conservative. Not surprising to me. Gen Z is 2 generations, not 1. In country after country, surveys show a very similar pattern. Historically, the views of men and women in same generations have been very similar. This still holds true for older age groups, but a gap has opened between today's young men and women. And so they show South Korea first. Young women are marked more progressive on gender norms, but young men have not budged. And so then the result is this rift that then these young men can't find women that want to be with them because they're not bending on these gender norms.
I have heard a lot about that.
So like in South Korea specifically, there's reduced rates of marriage and birth, and the birth rate has plummeted to the lowest of any country in the world.
Wow.
But obviously it's not just Korea, the US. In contrast to the typical relationship between values and age, young American men hold more conservative views than older men, which has huge social implications because then we also see like, oh, men are more and more lonely.
You're making yourself lonely, you dumbasses.
Yes, exactly, you dumb bitch. Because like nobody wants to be with someone who expects them to like be a 1950s household wife.
While still working, mind you.
Yeah.
Like you want a stay-at-home wife with a full-time job? No, thank you.
Yeah. And like just to go on the UK, it's the same thing. Only in the UK example, they said like women of all ages and men, millennials and up, hold more liberal views on race and immigration, but not young men, not Gen Z. And then like Germany, same thing. Young German women have become more progressive on attitudes towards immigrants, but young German men are more conservative than their elders on immigration issues. Poland, 46% of young men voted far-right nationalist, and only 16% of women did. So this person in their thread, they're like, where do we go from here? It's hard to say. One thing that would help would be desegregating online spaces. If top influencers spoke to both sexes instead of just one, that could begin bridging the divide. Will this happen? Almost certainly not. But people are quote tweeting that specific tweet from that thread. This is one of the ones. Hold on. Someone said, where do we go from here? It's simple. Either cishet men stop being conservative and put women's autonomy above their gods and countries, or they die alone as they deserve.
That's a great reason.
Yeah. The meme of the person crying, or a man crying, women won't date me because I'm conservative, and a woman saying, that's a great reason. Like, and I'll post that right there.
Yeah. I mean, what woman would sign up to be disrespected, to be with someone who sees them as lesser than and expects to be served hand and foot? You send me another one?
Yeah. So this one says, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Women's historically recent acquisition of financial rights has led to straight men collectively reeling from the culture shock of, for the first time in history, having to actually be likable to get a wife. But it's funny because I came across this thread and then immediately I came across this video on TikTok. I'm going to send it to you. As soon as I saw that thread, then I saw this video and I was like, wow. All right. Okay, let's go.
Guy shouldn't be dating a woman that's more than 2/3 of his body weight. The woman should feel smaller. She needs to feel like he could kill her, but he's not gonna. If I'm holding a girl and subconsciously she knows
What
that
the
if I wanted
fuck?
to, I could pick her up and throw her into the wall.
Don't start saying that this world is equal, because it's really not. This type of man is more common than you think. And your biggest fear is rejection? Must be nice. Must really be fucking nice. Don't tell me that it's a joke. Don't tell me it's hyperbole. Because that's how a lot of things in bad situations start, is as a joke. Why'd you take it so seriously? Because he said it. Because that man, like many men out there, said it with his fucking chest. And you don't want me to take it seriously? No. What an absolute disgrace of a man. No wonder you're single.
Please, for the safety of all women, remain single.
And you have to go on a podcast and talk bullshit. Wow. How unattractive. How fucking lame.
I mean, that's scary.
What do you mean? And did you see how uncomfortable she looked?
That is scary. And for someone to say that out loud, imagine what their inner thoughts are. He felt okay to say that.
Yeah. All of this was terrible. They thought it was like this big like gotcha moment. Even the way they edited the music for the beat to start when he said it. I'm like, this is not what you think it is. Like, what are you doing?
Like, I don't know what you thought you were doing, but you didn't.
You did the opposite. That's scary. No one wants to be with someone who would even think that. And like the original idea is horrendous and fat phobic, right? But you would have thought that maybe he was gonna say so he can pick her up and like kiss her, something normal.
And then he's talking about throwing her against the wall. Like, what the fuck?
For what? Unwarranted, unasked. Just what do you mean? You think about throwing your what?
You think about being violent against women all the time.
For no reason. And that's scary. Of course nobody wants to be with you. That's not normal. I hope he dies alone, honestly.
As he should. Because, again, for the safety of all women, he should be alone.
Yeah, that is so violent and scary. And yeah, that's not a normal thing to say.
Definitely not.
I hope if someone out there is listening and like is told this by their partner, like, oh, if I wanted to, I could just pick you up and throw you against the wall and kill you. Like, that's abuse.
Like, that means he wants to when he's thought about it. And that's a threat. Like,
yeah.
Because like, if I wanted to, I would hurt you. So you better be on your best behavior or I'll hurt you. And I define what best behavior means to me. And I will keep changing that goalpost because that's what abusers do.
Yeah. And yeah, that's terrifying. I was like, wow, it's like the algorithm was like they were talking TikTok and Twitter because I saw that thread and I immediately saw that video after. And I was like, this is actually what I need to talk about.
How scary. It is a scary world out there.
For a woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm including trans women because they are one of the most abused demographics.
Yeah. And you know what? All of this is connected because the topic I brought about the fundamental Christians, those men think like this.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. It's depressing and scary.
I thought you were gonna bring something funny to me.
No,
but the world is scary. So
yeah, the world is scary. My other thing I was gonna bring up was Nicki Minaj, but
oh no, you know what? We don't need what are her fans called?
The Barbs.
Yeah, we don't need them to come for us.
This creator on TikTok posted this video that basically like demolished her.
I saw it.
Oh, yeah. You saw it?
Yeah.
She goes by she, they. So she posted this video, burned her.
And she served.
Yeah, she did. And now they're being doxxed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we don't need to go there. Oh, but solidarity with that creator.
I will just say, Megan's song, amazing. Megan, beautiful. Unbothered.
Yeah.
Stan, queen.
Yes. The other thing I was going to bring up, but I'm like, I'm getting hungry. The thing that's like Gen Z is getting older or is aging worse than millennials.
Oh, that video was funny.
But all this to say that like different people age different ways and it's okay. It's okay to look your age.
And there's nothing wrong with aging.
Yeah. It's okay to look your age and it's okay to look whatever.
I will say I don't go out anymore, right? But recently I did go out. And somebody thought I was 20, no older than 25. And I was like, thank you. So
I love that for you.
I did feel good.
I'm a straight señora. I don't get confused for younger ages anymore. I think it has to do with being a mom and always having two children with me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be there one day too.
Yeah, and that's fine. At one point in my before having or actually when I still had Mateo, I did get confused for a lot younger, but you know what? It's fine.
It's okay to look your age, yes.
Yeah, we don't need Gen Z going after millennials like, oh, they think they look so young and they're actually ugly and old as fuck, and they reverse. We don't need that, because I see a bunch of comments like that and I'm just like, it happens. It's part of life. Yeah, some people age pretty bad in all age groups though, not just Gen Z and millennials. I've seen some millennials that look 50, okay?
So have I, and you know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
Hopefully they use sunscreen, not for aging, but for cancer.
Yes. The TikToker that originally made this go super viral, he does look older, but he also has his full beard that already ages you. So yeah, like different things will age you, different haircuts, hairdos. So yeah, all this to say, just it's okay.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, my stomach has the rumblies, so I have to go eat.
And I have to go drive to visit our mother.
Yeah, tell her hi for me. Yeah, I hope that everyone enjoyed this episode. Bye.
Bye.